Hey guys, Omar and Preston here with another quality tech talk for you.
What up?
And today we're going to talk about tech companies and services. Yesterday, Apple decided to grace us with a nice 2-hour hardware or software event, talking about their new services.
They did have hardware though, the titanium credit card.
Yes. So they announced a bunch of stuff. They announced a new credit card, advancing in Apple Pay. They talked about the revamped Apple TV Experience app, TV Plus, which is a subscription service, News Plus, which is their new news subscription service, and it really got us to thinking, Apple and other companies are just trying to find more revenue, better ways to make money now that, everybody has a smartphone, so you can't only sell iPhones and iPads and Macs forever. You need to diversify, right?
Build an extended ecosystem.
Exactly. So we've got to thinking, well, Apple showed what they're doing. What's Google doing? What's Microsoft doing? And how are these companies kind of transitioning from only selling hardware or just an operating system into selling a lot more of their services? So starting with Apple, the first thing which really caught our attention yesterday while we were watching the keynote was the Apple Card.
Apple Card. I love Apple Pay. If everything went Apple Pay and contactless, I wouldn't have no problem.
Yeah, so what do you think about it? What do you think about the Apple Card?
So I think Apple Card is pretty dope, especially the fact that you get daily cash. Like you have a lot of credit cards that people are actually confused on their reward points or how to use them. When do they show up? Me being a previous employee at Best Buy, I get that question all the time. When are my rewards going to pop up? How do I know? How do I look into it? Where do I go? Whereas Apple has everything built into the app. All your spending, how you're spending, and even location based with the maps where that transaction was spent. So I think it's pretty dope that, and then with the daily cash back, it goes back into your Apple Pay cash that you can use as actual cash instantly.
Yeah, I think it's of the things they announced yesterday, the card was the most interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you say TV news, yeah, that's what every company does, but to really just go ahead and say, yeah, we're going to be almost like a financial institution.
We're gonna be a bank too.
Yeah, is very interesting, and I feel like it feels a lot like Uber to me in the sense where
because Uber got rewards and all that stuff now too.
Where Uber came out like, okay, the taxi system is broken,
right?
Let's try and fix it.
Yeah.
And then Lyft came out, and now taxi cab companies and drivers, they complain about it, but
yeah,
it created a shift in the market, much how Netflix changed the way we watch video.
Right.
This is gonna, I think, start a movement to change how we spend, and using the phone. You see states now, they have mobile driver's licenses,
right?
Where you get one on your phone as opposed to having the actual physical card in your wallet,
right?
So it's an exciting thing to me personally. I think their card that they made out of titanium, no credit card number, no security code, no expiration date. It's just your name with the chip.
Now that's something we got to really look into, later on. Obviously not right now. Remember how I told you yesterday, maybe these companies will jump on board with this type of security because you have a lot of fraud going on nowadays where, credit card numbers being etched off and then so how is Apple really going to, Apple and these, businesses or restaurants or whatever, how are they really going to say, oh, I'll accept this card with no numbers on it? So I assume that they're probably going to, Apple's going to contact these restaurants and say, hey, dude, would you want to be a partner in our Apple paying system moving forward?
If any tech company was going to do this and be trustworthy, it's Apple.
Oh,
because
100%.
They have really doubled down on, hey, we're super secure. Privacy is very important. They were talking about everything is local on the device.
Yep.
They don't, sell much. Only the advertisers took a couple not so veiled shots at Google yesterday. Just basically say, hey, we're the secure platform. We know, we know that our customers value their security, and if you want a secure experience, you lock yourself into iPhone, you lock yourself to Apple services.
So it's just another way. I'm part of that cult. I drink that Kool-Aid. It's just another way to lock more in the ecosystem with Apple. Just another way.
Now, beyond that, they announced a couple media things, right? Yeah. They talked about the new Apple TV app, which was an interesting concept to me, which what they're doing is, oh, you have all these streaming services. Wouldn't it be nice to have them all in one place?
With the same password that you use for your Apple ID or iCloud, which is dope.
And it allows you, and this again further integrates their Apple Pay, because, oh, you want to sign up for HBO now? Okay, cool. Here's your Apple ID, use your Apple Pay, your Apple Pay card or whatever credit card you happen to have on file on Apple Pay, and that's how you're going to pay for your subscription service, and all of them are right there.
And then with it, if you use your Apple Pay or your Apple Card, as they call it, every month that you get charged for, let's say, Apple Music, you get daily cash back for that too. Mm-hmm. So they're just trying to find more rewarding ways for you to use their service, which is fine with me.
And if you look at it, think about all their services now, and with the introduction of this card. So say you get the card, and it's promising lower fees and everything. Seems like
zero fees is what they say.
And you have Apple Music, and you have Apple TVs, and all this stuff. You have all this Apple subscription stuff, and then they're kind of paying you money back to use it. Really incentivizes somebody to just go all into that Apple ecosystem. Yeah. So a big criticism could be, well, it's not cross-platform. I can't access Apple Pay on Android or on the web. And Apple, I think, is betting on the idea that you trust them so much so you'll only buy their hardware and use their services, which is maybe.
Hey, you just bought another iPhone.
I did. Yeah. I just got an iPhone, so maybe they're onto something.
Yeah,
and, Then they also announced Apple TV Plus, which I think a lot of people thought was going to be a live TV.
I thought it would be live too. I think it's just the start. I think they will eventually, with the next update, probably add live, but this is just a start to see how people are going to catch on to like their originals and things like that.
So what's funny to me about watching the keynote is, they talk about Apple TV Plus, and they're typical Apple. They're real grandiose, real abstract with what it was.
Yeah.
And they're like, so it's a streaming service with original content. They bring out all these celebrities. We bring out J.J. Abrams and Steven Spielberg and Oprah, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell. They spent a lot of money. Obviously, these actors and actresses, they don't come cheap.
Right. Very true.
And I was just kind of wondering, because they didn't really announce pricing, and I wonder how much is it going to be per month, and do they really envision this as like a Netflix killer? Because Netflix has kind of gone, though, we're focusing more on original content. Like, they're almost trying to be the new HBO.
Man, I just saw some movies a couple of days ago from them. I mean, wow.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder what Apple's big play is, but if this is like the first step, obviously, so they're looking at, you got the TV Plus, you got the Apple Card, you got Apple Music, and now they revamped News to Apple News and Apple News Plus. So
I gotta say, I'm more of a visual person. You give me a movie, you give me a video, I'll watch it more than I will read it. But ever since this announcement, I actually signed up for the free month trial for the News Plus, and I read me a magazine yesterday from I read an article in the GQ magazine on J. Cole, and I read the whole thing through. I didn't skim it. So I mean, I feel like you said, they're just trying to they're grabbing hold of customers that are kind of in there, and then like me, they're gonna pull me in more and say, hey, try this, and I tried it, which is like I said, a good read. I think it's a dope situation.
Yeah, I like the idea that it's just that $9.99 fee, right? And it's just all these magazines, which is huge. And then they're like, got Wall Street Journal. I mean, if anybody knows, Wall Street Journal subscription is not cheap.
Yeah.
So so it's really an excellent value, really. Again, it's not cross-platform.
Right.
So to view it, you have to either an iPhone, a Mac, iPad.
But I mean, the viewing, on an iPad or iPhone, I mean, they got live covers for the magazines, and when you scroll through, you get to see the viewing. Now, back to me being a visual person, just the viewing experience is just awesome that I don't think you can get on any other platform. I mean, when I got done reading GQ, I even switched over to National Geographic, which was one of their like highlights, and oh man, just beautiful. It just makes you want to continue to read their way of magazines than anybody else's.
Yeah, they really did an excellent job, I think, on just the presentation and the scaling, and which is what I think Apple does so much better than anybody else, is because they have such a commitment to iPad, right?
Yeah.
So being able to view it on the iPad, and it's formatted for the iPad, it's not like a blown up phone app,
Right.
like you would see like on an Android tablet, for example. Is huge. You know, it's a great thing. Another thing they announced is Apple Arcade, which is, you know, their kind of gaming service, right? And well, it was interesting to me because, you know, Google announced Stadia. We'll talk about that a little bit later, which was kind of more of your high-level gaming.
AAA games.
But, you know, Apple Arcade is just iOS games.
Just iOS games that you can, they kind of took the same type of idea with Google, where you can play it on your Mac, you can play it on your iPhone, your iPad, or Apple TV. Again, a person like me that wants to get back into gaming, but doesn't really want to invest because I'm not into gaming like that. I feel like they're gonna have a lot of consumers, you know, in a different age bracket that's gonna be like, oh, cool, I can get into gaming with Apple. And
all of the services they announced and they have now, I feel like this is probably the one that's gonna get the least traction.
Oh well, yeah, probably. I mean,
because people will be looking at it like, okay, how many people actually pay for mobile games?
Well, they were saying it's a high profitable area.
I feel like the in-app purchases are like that. So, but when you talk subscription, well, there
are no in-apps.
Are you going to have in-app purchases?
No.
I mean, how's that going to work?
No.
You know, so I think it's an interesting idea, but it's, again, another way for them to get revenue, even if only, like, say, 5% of iPhone users do it.
Yeah.
That's a great win for them.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But one thing about it is, like, they have all these services, right? So you got your gaming, you got your news, you got your music with Apple Music already, and you got your TV stuff. But no bundling.
Where's the bundle?
Yeah, no bundling at all.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if, because they didn't give any prices to a lot of the things, I'm wondering if by when all this starts popping up, you know, by, I think they said May, summer, fall, I'm wondering if by the end of it, or by the end of this year, or by that time, they may say, for one price, bundle it all. I'm wondering if that's why they didn't talk about bundling, because they don't have a price. Well, maybe once they get this price, it'll, you know, in the next update, iOS 13, it may be a bundle for, I don't know.
Yeah, to me, like, bundling the TV Plus and Arcade makes sense.
Or even add Apple Music to it too.
Yeah. Bundling TV Plus and music makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious if they're ever really going to make this cross-platform. And like, why is Apple Music the only one that gets there? Why wouldn't you have Apple Pay on Android? Why wouldn't you have Apple TV Plus on Roku, for example?
Well, they're adding it to the TV, so that means that they're starting to reach out to other platforms and other users. So I mean, that's a start.
And I just kind of, it's interesting to me. Like, why wouldn't you make it Android?
Of course.
Capable, you know, just because there's so much market share to be had if you're really a services company. I mean, like, look, I'll use Google as an example. All their services are on iOS, every single one.
I think at the same time where they want you to buy more services, I think they're also
still want to sell hardware.
Yeah, I think you come see it over here first.
That's what really makes
I think if they start to slack on that, I mean, even though the rumors and all they say that they have with this 10R and 10S thing, I think if they really start to drop down, then they'll probably, you know, say, hey, you can get it over here or over there, you know. So, but I mean, speaking of bundling, you have like, for instance, Hulu TV. You get Hulu TV plus Spotify, and Spotify is really, really heavy out there, like heavy. So for you to get, I think, is it for free?
So if you pay $13 a month, you get Hulu with the ad-supported Hulu plus Spotify Premium.
Okay.
Which, you know, it saves you $7 a month, I think.
Hey, $7 times all those months.
To me, that's probably the best value out right now, as far as live TV plus music.
Yeah.
I wonder if Apple will do that eventually.
Right.
You know, like I said, Apple Music plus Apple TV plus.
Right.
Not quite the same thing because Hulu has live TV, whereas, you know, Apple TV plus is just original content.
Right. And then you have like Google and its services. I mean, if you're all in on Google, I think all their services almost all connect in some way, form, or fashion.
So Google's gone heavy into the YouTube brand. So you got YouTube Premium, which is ad-free YouTube plus YouTube Originals.
Yep.
You have YouTube TV, which is their live streaming service, which I use and I love. It's great. And then you have YouTube Music, which is eventually going to replace Google Play Music.
Yeah.
Now, previously, well, I think they still do this. If you subscribe to YouTube Music, you get YouTube Premium for free, and vice versa. So for like $12 a month, if you do YouTube Premium, you get their music service completely free.
Right.
Which is great. You know, it's a great bundle. And I think Google's doing the same thing. They're starting to realize that they have to do more bundling, more services. So
we're an entertainment. Well, probably other countries, but we're an entertainment country, and they feel like that this is what the people need, which is good. Which is good for us. I mean, that finally we're like, okay, cool, they're doing something for us versus just trying to have us pay for $1,000 phones and this, that, and the other. They're doing something else. And again, like, you know, if anybody's watching this, see my, you know, my Instagrams, I use my technology with my kids. So I mean, for me to be like, hey, daughters, you can now, you know, read a magazine through your phone through the subscription. Or, hey, I know you guys want to play some gaming. Hey, now we could do a little bit more gaming, you know. So, and then same thing with Google. I mean, Google's bringing out, you know, Stadia.
Right.
You know, now we can, you know, with the same devices we already have, we can do more.
Yeah, think about how Google's going to start making money now. Because they always are going to make money off Google search, right? Ads and stuff, we know that. But now they got the original content stuff, the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah, I haven't watched their original content stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple things are good.
Okay.
But, you know, YouTube TV, YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, you got all that.
Yeah.
They're really pushing out Google One, you know, to, you know, their paid cloud storage thing.
Which is pretty dope. You get, like, discounted hotels and other freebies.
Right, and which incentivizes people to do it. You know, that's why I signed up for Google One, in addition to needing more cloud storage. And then, obviously, Google Pay and Google Stadia. Stadia is interesting just because it really tries to address the gaming problem with I don't have enough hardware, and Google being a primarily software company, much like how I think Apple was the right company to revolutionize cards, Google's the right company to shift up the landscape in gaming.
They got a lot of resources.
A lot of servers that they're going to be pushing this out to make gaming more accessible on devices without dedicated graphics. And I think it's a great concept. Hopefully it works out. That should be coming out later. And the one annoying thing about all this is like nobody's announcing prices. You know? Google hasn't said how much Stadia is going to be a month. Apple didn't say anything about TV Plus.
They're just trying to hype it all up, like get you excited. Because then when they do throw the price out there, we might be like, dang. Well,
why is it so much money?
But you know, it is pretty. You know, they get you hyped up, so then you can drop down. You be up to that level, then you drop down a little level, and you be like, all right, whatever. Versus, oh, it's gonna be $20 a month, and you already instantly nah. So,
with Stadia in mind, Google now has a new competitor in Microsoft and Sony as well. But
yeah, I read an article. Xbox boss, not Xbox CEO or Microsoft CEO, said that, okay, Google, I got something for you at E3. So we'll see.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that.
That's what happens when you have Googles. They pop up and talk to you. So that's another thing. We want to know. We'll see what Microsoft has in store for services too,
and what they've done. So years ago, Microsoft's like, okay, all we care about is Windows and selling PCs.
Yeah.
Then they came out the Surface, like, yeah, we're making our own computers. Yeah. Great. But now, with Satya Nadella, their CEO, he said, no. The cloud is more important than any of this hardware nonsense. So Microsoft could care less about selling hardware.
Yeah.
So what they actually want to do is they want you to get Office 365 and OneDrive storage. They want you to play Xbox, and they want you to get Xbox Live.
And then you can play the Xbox. Kind of already like all these other things are coming out. You can play Xbox on your computer, your phone, and the Xbox console.
The irony of when Google announced Stadia was this is what Microsoft has been trying to do for years. You know, I remember when I had a Surface Pro 3 some years ago and Windows 10 was first coming out, like, oh yeah, we're running the universal Windows platform, and you can, you know, pick up your Windows phone to your Windows tablet, to your desktop PC, to your laptop, to your Xbox, and not have any issues. And it never really came to fruition because Windows Phone was such a flop.
Yeah, the hardware on their stuff now. I think if they tried to come out with a Windows Phone with some Chrome, Android / Windows. I don't know how you would do it, but the hardware seems pretty dope. So I think the hardware is where they can sell a lot.
Microsoft, like a lot of companies now, I feel their hardware is just an advertisement for their software, and Google does the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, with Pixel phones, Chrome OS devices, you know, they just want their software to shine, their services to shine. They want you to use Assistant and Google Drive and all this other stuff. And Microsoft wants you to use Cortana. They want you to you know, access Office. They want you to use Xbox Live. They want all that stuff. So it should be interesting to see what their strategy is moving forward, because they're real heavy on the enterprise now with Microsoft Azure and their cloud solutions.
And then like next month they're coming out with their CD-less or digital Xbox. Next month, I think, is a rumor. So, I mean, I want to know how much that's going to cost.
I'm curious how the market's going to respond. Because you remember when the Xbox One first came out, there was talk about that.
Yeah.
Being digital only. And then people freaked out.
Well, you got so much, so everything's really about to be about speed and cloud and internet. I mean, like me, I just signed up for a gig internet speed a few weeks ago, and I can see the difference. So, I mean, people that already have the speed, it's just going to be one of those things, let's test it out. And if it works, it works.
And, you know, all these companies come out with these services. Makes you think about companies that aren't, right?
Yeah.
And
where they're at now.
And where they're at now. Like, to me, the first one that comes to mind is HTC.
Yeah.
Like, HTC's always been a hardware company.
Hardware.
Always make good phones, make good tablets. They got their Vive VR, which is, you know, I don't do
they got a new
VR,
one coming out too. It's like $799 or something like
Pro,
that.
I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't do VR, but anybody I know that does has always told me, yeah, you know, Vive is where it's at. And that's a nice VR headset.
Right.
But they don't have services,
Yeah.
you know. And now these companies, because all these companies used to focus on mobile, focus on phones and tablets, they've realized it's saturated.
Yeah.
Much like how the laptop market is saturated. So they look at it in the sense of, or we gotta continue making some money.
Yeah.
Because at this point, people are just upgrading.
Yep.
You know, which doesn't do much.
Yep.
And now people are keeping their phones longer because your phones are more expensive. You know, the average person used to keep their phone for what, a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Now you see people keeping them for 3, 4.
4 years. Yeah.
Like how
if
many
it ain't
times,
broken, don't fix it.
Right. How many times do you see somebody coming in and come to a store, somebody got iPhone 6?
Yep.
You know,
iPhone 6.
You know, that was 4 generations ago. You know, and with guys like us who upgrade multiple times a year.
times.
We're just like, whoa.
Thanks, T-Mobile.
Right. How do you still have, you know, iPhone 6, but, you know, people like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
And so I think these companies are like, all right, we really got to figure this out. You know, we gotta get these services locked down. And I think Google and Apple in particular are positioning themselves for this future. You know, the idea of you using all these Google services and all that. But what's lost in the shuffle here is how much is it? You know, where we just add service, and like, are we spending more than we used to?
Yeah, I mean that's so the other that too. So now they're like, okay, they're not gonna spend it on the phone, but they about to start seeing this on their other bills and their credit cards because we're gonna add some services. I mean that brings another question: is it flooded? Is there a lot going on?
I think on the TV side,
or is it just ecosystem based? Where if you're an Apple, you're gonna use this. If you're a Google customer, you're gonna use this.
Like,
or if you're Microsoft, you're gonna use this. Maybe it's not flooded.
Think about on the TV side. Okay, so you want Netflix, right? Okay, that's $13 a month.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So then you want live TV, Hulu Live, YouTube TV, DirecTV Now, whichever one you pick. It's around $40 a month, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's that. And then you gotta watch HBO. You need Game of Thrones. It's $10 a month.
There you go.
Okay, and you know, I watch a couple shows on Showtime. I need that. It's another $10 a month.
So you're back to like a cable.
Right. I need live sports. It's $5 a month. You know, so.
But I think it's the fact that now you can do a la carte. I think everybody's probably still going to be paying the same price, but it's just a la carte now. It's the way you're doing it, and it's more enjoyable because you get to actually choose things now.
And then what makes it interesting how certain companies align themselves with one another. Mm-hmm. Like Netflix, for example, is aligned itself with T-Mobile. You got a family plan on T-Mobile, your Netflix is free.
Right.
So, you know, that's cool. Spotify has aligned itself with Hulu, so if you do that, you know, that works too. So it really is like shifted the way we look at entertaining ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Through, you know, media and things of that nature. And I wonder now, though, now that Apple's done the magazine thing, with Apple News Plus. Is Google gonna come out with Google News Plus? I wonder. You know,
Yeah, because they already have news. They already have their newspapers or whatever it's called, newsstand. I wonder what they're gonna do with that.
like I use Google News. I use it on Android devices. I use it on my iPhone. I like it because it integrates with Google Search.
Yeah.
The reason that Apple says that Apple News Plus is better is the reason I use Google News. You're like, oh, it's all private. I'm like, I don't really care. So I wonder if they're gonna like try and partner with that as well, because
You probably are. They all always go back and forth.
now what Google News kind of does is kind of what Apple TV is gonna do. If you have subscriptions, right? Like I subscribe to the New York Times, that pops up in Google News. Where I have a dedicated NY Times thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. And so I just think it's a good time to be into this type of stuff right now. To get into this medium and just to see what's going on, and with so many services out, we want to know, what do you guys use?
Yeah.
Right?
What do you use? What do you think? Are you going to jump on the extra Apple bandwagon? Are you going to stay with the things that you already have?
Are you going to go all in on Google stuff? Are you going to wait to see if Microsoft comes out? Because Microsoft
Are
has
you
stuff
waiting?
too.
Are you waiting for Disney Plus? Are you waiting to see if how Netflix is going to respond to all of this? Because Netflix is out. They like we're going to keep doing our own thing.
I think Netflix is just content with being this generation's HBO.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good.
We're going to make original content. We'll get a few movies here and there. We're just going to be HBO.
Yeah.
Now, the real question for Netflix is, how high can the price go before you say, I'm done? I remember when it used to be $8 a month.
Yep.
And then eventually got to $10. It was like,
Well, I'll tell you this: I didn't even pay attention to the price jump, and I have it through T-Mobile, but we have to pay the extra for the higher quality or more people, which I didn't even see.
Oh, you did the...
Yeah, I have to pay like $3 or $4 more.
Yeah.
So again, I didn't even pay attention to it. Why? Because I'm using it. If they have good content, I think they know they have good content, so I don't think they're gonna.
And Netflix does have good stuff. That's whenever remember when Bird Box came out, that was a phenomenon almost, and that was a Netflix original movie, and now you got Netflix stuff being nominated for awards, TV, Emmys and Emmys and Oscars and things of that nature. So it's a definitely interesting time for them as a company. But yeah, let us know what you think. This video was a little long, but I had a lot to deep dive.
A lot to deep dive. It's shorter than 2 hours of yesterday that you watched. So
yeah, so you got all the information in a quarter of the time than watching Tim Cook and Apple talk about how they're going to change the world through original content.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are Omar and Creston, Quality Tech Talk, coming at you with all kinds of tech videos. We got some new stuff coming out pretty soon. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know. Next
Hope
week,
you enjoy.
We'll probably be talking about true wireless earbuds.
Yeah, that was a video we missed.
Yeah, we
now that we got some new stuff in the market too. So
yeah, so with AirPods 2 and stuff, we're looking to diving into that industry, see what that's all about. But Omar and Creston out. Have a good one, guys.